according to this article, okay, this article in Barbados Today, and let me move it up so that you can see. Let's get the date on this. This was the 4th of November. Okay, it says 4 Barbados Labour Party political hopefuls have thrown their hat in the ring to contest for the candidacy of Christchurch South. Barbados Today has learned. We have Senator Dr. Chantel Monroe. I'm sorry, this is April the 4th. Okay, April the 11th. Senator Dr. Chantel Monroe Knight, minister in the Prime Minister's office, is the highest profile name. So this is the highest profile name. Okay, listen, in the quartet, joined by Kurt Haynes, who is a personal assistant to the Minister of Health. Okay, so this guy here, this one here, he is Kurt Haynes. Then you have Justice of the Peace, John L. Brown. And John L. Brown is says he's a prophet. Okay. Well, that's his title. He goes by prophet. I shouldn't say it like that. So he goes by the title of a prophet. And he was the one who prophesied a lot of things about the BLP. So here it is. You also have this gentleman here, Rommel Paris. And he is a vice president of the Barbados Agricultural Society, Rommel Paris. Okay, so yeah, so these are the initially. So initially, right? These were the candidates for this nomination in Christchurch South to determine who is going to be the candidate for Christchurch South, because as we had said earlier, the Ralph Thorne had crossed the floor, so they had to put someone there. Okay, and these are the ones they were contesting the elections. So this is supposed to be a democratic process. Follow what I'm saying. If you open your mind to this, open your mind. This is supposed to be a democratic process within the Barbados Labour Party. Why am I talking about this? Because what happens there mimics what happened in the bigger, in the larger population. How decisions are made. So it's an important one, because this other article that I have here. Okay, let me try and share that one. Tells us that a candidate, one of those candidates that they pulled out of the race. Okay, so let's look at that. It says here, this is Starcom Network reporting that Senator Dr. Chantel Monroe Knight will be the Barbados Labour Party candidate in the Christchurch South constituency in the next general election. Senator Dr. Monroe Knight, the Minister of State in the Prime Minister's office, won the nomination by a landslide. Listen to this. When voting took place. So there was voting, but we're going to look at the conditions. Saturday at the St. Christopher Primary School. She beat challenger Christopher Allen by 135 votes to 5 with 3 spot votes. So there were 143 votes. Now, I gave you 3 names that were and 4 names that were vying for this in April. It was Kurt Haynes, John L. Brown, Rommel Paris. There was no Christopher Allen there. The big question is, what happened to those other 3 men? Here is a 4th man. Here is a 4th man. And if you don't believe me, let me go back to this other this other one. Okay, so this is the tab here. Look at this one. This is it. You can read the bottom says from left, Senator Dr. Chantal Monroe Knight, Kurt Haynes, Janelle Brown, and Rommel Paris. What happened to all three, and how did this person that people hardly know who he is? I couldn't even find this picture online. He appeared in the whole thing. Christopher Allen, he works at a bank. I found that out. I have a little bio here on him. I had to get somebody in the BLP send me this information. Thank God for them. Yeah. Let me look for it in my phone. There are lots of things in this phone. Somebody said, Marcy, you better save the stuff. But this guy, Christopher L. Allen, is said to be a very nice guy, and he, did his little campaign. And he's a bank. He works at a bank and helps people with their mortgages and so on. But he wasn't in the official roundup. But these three here, one of them was asked to remove himself from the 31st of August. Was Christopher just introduced to make it look as though a race was happening? If he was campaigning all this time, he only got 5 votes? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If he had family, it's probably only the 5 that voted. Yeah? It must be the only 5 that voted his family. I want to propose to you that this was fixed. This was fixed. This was no democracy inside of the Barbados Labour Party. This was fixed. When I spoke to the people within the Barbados Labour Party this evening, I was told that the men were harassed to come out of the race. Fixed, Kim. Fixed. And I want Barbados to take note of what I'm saying to you this evening, because this has happened in the Barbados Labour Party. Don't fool yourself that this is not what actually happens in the way Barbados is run. This was no democracy in the Barbados Labour Party, and this is how the Prime Minister runs Barbados. It is what she says. Let's go back to the article. It says here in the last paragraph of the article on Starcom, Kurt Haynes, who had been one of the contenders, expected to pose a challenge to Senator Dr. Monroe Knight. I didn't say it. Starcom saying it. Withdrew from the race 2 weeks ago. Kurt Haynes. You remember Kurt Haynes? Kurt Haynes is the personal assistant to Jerome Walcott, the Minister of Health. He was one of those contenders expected to pose a challenge to Senator Dr. Monroe Knight. And he withdrew from the race 2 weeks ago. And guess what? Guess what? And another candidate withdrew from the race last night. When was this thing? August 31st. And I have remember I told you, and I read from it, and I'm going to read it from it again, coming from the other candidate. So you will know. You will know who that other candidate is. So all of this here was fixed. Fixed. This is what Prime Minister Mia Mottley does. This is what this despotic leader does. She does not believe in democracy. Prime Minister Mia Mottley does not believe in democracy. In her own party, she harassed the people in there, all those candidates. And they had to leave, they had to drop out. They had to drop out. Yeah? Listen to me, folks. Listen, I want us Barbados to listen. Use your common sense. I was thinking about this today. I was there and I was thinking about this today. And I was saying to myself, wow. So this is what really goes on. Her word. Nothing else but her word. Correct, Janessa said, just how she pushed out John Kim from St. Philip West to let to let McCartney run. It's the same thing. It is the same thing that is happening. Okay? But some of us, we don't want to think. We don't want to use our common sense. We don't want to focus on the information that is right there in front of us. This woman believes that what she says must go. She runs her party the same way as she runs the country. Do you understand? It is this under the same administration that we have this draconian cybercrime bill. The same kind of dictatorship. She runs it as it's her own thing. So she gets rid of all of these three men to put in this woman. And Christopher Allen, I don't know, this poor wonderful man. Well, who is he? That came in the last minute and had 5 votes. And it comes in the newspaper. Monroe Knight won landslide. Now, what I'm hearing from the people within the BLP is that, yeah, you know what? Everybody knew she wasn't really liked. She wasn't going to win. They thought that one of these men here that was going to win. That's why they asked them the night before to drop out. Yeah. So let me just read this again for those of you. I want Barbadians to think. I want you to put on your thinking cap, and I want you to really think about what has occurred last weekend in Christchurch South. Think about it. This is the same prime minister. I was told that these men were harassed to get out of the race. Six 10 p.m. You withdraw. I'm reading the message. Why? 6:11 p.m. 6:16. One of these men reply, the PM asked me to. Cause she was scared I would win. She was scared I won. Because the election was going on. Cause she was scared I won. And the person says, you're full of SHIT at 6:26. 6:35, the person said, one of these men answered, nope. Oh, they said, you get a promise. The person said, I'm going back to marketing on Monday. To do what? Community liaison officer. The person says, okay, yeah. And that's when they mention Patrick King. And if I were you, all 900 of you on here, never listen to anything from Patrick King again. No integrity. The person asked, Patrick King done? The person said, one of these men here said, I don't know. He says, mine is an appointment. Them got a contract. Right? Inferring that Patrick King got a contract. Oh, okay. Grade 6. Salary $6,133.08 and 500 travel. I read it last night, but as I meditated on it today, I wanted you to see the seriousness of what we are dealing with here in Barbados. I wanted you to be aware of how serious this thing is. Barbados? Barbados? Yes, Cami. All we've got to do, we're adults and we're intelligent people in Barbados. I want you to take it in slow tonight. There was no democracy that happened in Christchurch South for that nomination in Christchurch South. There was no nomination. There was a declaration of the person that the prime minister wanted. There was no nomination. There was no election. That was not an election that occurred. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? This is your prime minister.